Hey KU fans, thanks for logging on to KUsports.com to check out another episode of KU Sports Extra. It's been a little while, but we have to talk about a home loss for the Jayhawks. 92-89 to Iowa State in overtime. A really, really good game. That's kind of a trend lately. Been a lot of really good games. This one, Kansas came up on the wrong end of.
Yeah, this reminded me a little bit of Marcello Villi of Oral Roberts, who's 1 for 14 in his career from three, and he makes his first 7 threes coming off the bench. Now, Deontay Burton is a much better player than Marcello Villi ever dreamed of, but he has not been a real accurate three-point shooter, shooting .305 from three. Coming into the game, was 1 for 6 up in Ames. You can make a case that he shot his team out of it in Ames, even though he scored 21 points. He could have dominated on the interior, but you could also make a point that you can make the case that had he taken that approach and played in the interior all game today, his team would have lost.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He was great, and he looked the part. He looked confident. Every shot he took, he thought it was going in. And it was sort of the same way for Naslong. Naslong missed a few, but looked like he thought he made them when he let him fly. Monte Morris was Monte Morris, and Frank Mason was Frank Mason. I mean, somebody had to win, somebody had to lose, and it really
was terrific.
Yeah, he was, and it came down to the supporting cast for each team. I thought Morris, preseason player of the year, got a lot more help than Mason did, who probably will end up being the player of the year of the conference. Well, 32 points, career high for Frank Mason. I'll be honest with you, I thought this was a game that KU was going to show up, roll over these guys. They've had some tough games at West Virginia, at Kentucky, home against number 2 Baylor. I mean, the emotions that went into all of those games. I thought this was the game they get to step away and take a break, and for 20 minutes it looked like that. They were up 14 at the break. Ridiculous numbers at halftime. 70% from the field, 50% from three-point range, 100% from the free throw line.
Yeah, and at one time they had a rebounding advantage of something like 18 to
1. Yeah, so everything looked like exactly it was going to go that way for Kansas. And then Iowa State came out gunning in the second half and landed Lucas Anvil self, but give credit to Lucas for saying it. He said, Coach told us that was going to happen. He kind of called it. And it did. Iowa State shot crazy good in the second half. And as soon as they got back in it, Lucas put it perfectly. As soon as they were allowed to get comfortable and got back in it, it was anybody's game.
The 8-game stretch, I'm sure this will be the where KU was favored the most, favored by 10 points.
Yeah.
Not going to happen again during this 8-game stretch, which they're 2-2 so far, 4 games into it. But those are written on paper, the same place that Deontay Burton's three-point shooting stats are written on paper. And you know, basketball, the favorite doesn't always win. And this is when you're playing this many close games, you're going to get upset.
Yeah, definitely. And it was overtime. Frank Mason had a shot to win it. Could have repeated himself for the Duke game the way he did there. Just missed. It was a pretty good look and a pretty good shot. Hard to put the blame on Frank Mason on a day like this.
Oh, he was terrific.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point he was 8 for 8, 4 for 4 from 3, and 6 for 6 from 3.
Ridiculous.
And then he missed a couple free throws down the stretch. But yeah, he was terrific.
What do you make of the home loss? I mean, it's going to happen 51 in a row here. Now that streak is over. It starts over at 1 again the next time they win here. Not devastating. Nobody's happy about it, I'm sure. But
yeah,
I
didn't think that they carried that as a burden.
No.
Some could. It's not. You hate to say their 51 game winning streak is not a big deal, but at Kansas you get winning streaks of that.
That's true.
It's crazy to say, but you do.
Well, it's kind of like the same way they treat the Big 12 streak. You know, to Bill Self, it's not going for 13 in a row. It's going for the 1 in a row for this particular team, and that's how they act every game. Let's not make it a 51-game winning streak or extend it to 45 or whatever. Let's win this one game, and that's why they get those streaks, and they'll get another one. It'll take a while, but they'll get another one. Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are this is a team that has flaws, and it's different from any other South team in that there's no post-up scorer.
Right.
And there's not a lot of help for the one post defender, Landon Lucas. So these things are going to happen. There's going to be an upset here and there along the way, but I have a terrific trio perimeter, and I thought Svi played very well today. It's just a different team, not as balanced as most of their teams, but they compete hard, and today they happen to lose.
No doubt. Perfectly said. They do. They compete hard every night. Fun to watch, win or lose. They'll be back at it Monday night in Manhattan. We'll be there. Bobby Nightingale will be there. Benton Smith will be there. Tom will be there. I'll be there. Nick Krug will be there. So we'll have another one of these.
Svi will be there.
Svi will be there.
He's just going to walk. He's not going to take the team bus.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I talked to him a little bit about that after this game. Look for that on KUsports.com. And we'll see you guys Monday night from Manhattan on another episode of KU Sports Extra. Thanks for checking out this one. We'll talk to you guys real soon.